Hey, hello, welcome. Thank you so much for watching this video. In this video, we are going to create one web application where we will perform addition operations. So as you can see on the screen, in the web page, there will be two text boxes. The two text box we will get input from user, and whatever input user will provide, we will return back the result of addition of that number by clicking on the button. And after that, we will show one pop-up message also. So we are going to implement this web application in our this video. So let's begin. So here you can see this is our Oracle Visual Builder application. Now we have to create application. So first I will create a new application. So as this all old application we created earlier. So now I will go for new and will give the name as addition app. And ID it will populate automatically. I just want to go with empty application. Just finish. So it will create a new application. There we need to create the web pages. So for creating the web pages, you can see this is our welcome page. For creating the web pages, we have to go for responsive app. And here, once we will click here, it will navigate to the web pages. And here we have to create the web application. So just click here, select the style, give the application name. So I will give the name as, let me give the name as addition. And here you can see we have button to create. So just click on this create button. So addition web application has been created. Now each and every application having different web pages. So right now this addition application have by default one page, that is main page, and you can see here this is our main page. So let me reduce the details here. And these all are the properties I have already explained. So just click on this application icon so that it can hide the web application page. Now here you can see this is our web design canvas where we will design, and this is our, you can see the component part. This is header and this is footer. So we can change the header, footer and all. So I don't want to go with any changes. So what I will do, I have to design here. So as you can see, they already define one text and the division in image and all. So I don't want anything. I will go to the code and I will remove all the code for that. So once I will remove the code, you can see our page is empty now. We have to design here. All these things we have to design here only. So now for that, for designing, what we need to do? For designing, we have to drag and drop the text box. So here we can see input box. So before going to provide any input box, I want to provide the input box in the form layout. So I will select the form layout. So with the help of form layout, we can arrange our input box or the element or components in a good way. So I will drag here the form layout. In the form layout, we have to add the input text. So here I will drag the input text. And here you can see this input text having the text as text. So this text will be replaced by number 1. As we have to add 2 numbers, I will drag 2. But here you can see in this input text, we have this additional space. So we can remove this additional space. So here we have the density properties of input text. So I will select the input text. I will go to the property. And here in the input text property, you can see this is input text and we'll go for all. And here we will search the density. So somewhere we will have the density column. Here you can see user assistant density. So right now you can see we have additional spaces and all. So I will select here compact. It will remove all the spaces and additional things. So now here you can see this is our simple input text box. But here you can see we want that in number 1 text, right, should be come outside the text box. So that we need to select the form layout. So as we selected the form layout, properties of form layout open. Go to the general and somewhere we have the age. So you can see the label age, and the label age I want to, this is the label, right? I want to show the label age outside this box. So here I will select the start. So now you can see the label of this input text showed outside the box. Now you can see if we want to reduce the size of this input box, right? So select the input text, and in the input text here you can see we have one styling that a small OJ form control max width SN. So if you will go to the code right now, you can see this is our input text. This input text doesn't have any style. And if we will go to the design and select the input text, and here we have one style as a small. So once you will select, the input text will be converted into a small input text. And if we go to the design, the same we added, right? Same is added here in the class. You can see class OJ form control max width -sm, a small width, right? So now we are done with one input text box. Now we have to select the second input text box. So for that, what I will do, I will just make a copy of this code only, so that I don't want to do any changes here. And here label hint, I will change to number 2, right? So in design, you can see we have two text box, number 1 and number 2. So before this text box, I want to add one heading, right? So here, let me search the heading. This is the heading. I will drag this heading here. And here in heading, I will change the name as addition. And I will change the size. So here H1 to I will go for H5, H6, right? H5 only. Now you can see we have added the label, added the input box, and here we have to add one more input box where we will show the result. So again, I will go to the code instead of dragging and drop. So I will just make a copy of that one and I will paste it here again. And I will give the name as number 2 instead of I will give the name result. So now you can see the third input box is added. So now I don't want to make this input box as a input text box as a editable. So I will go, and here you can see we have option for read only. Select here. So you can see it is now grayed out so that we cannot change the value. So if you will go to the code, you can see one more property is added, that is read only is equals to true for this specific result input text only. So now we are done with the design. Now we have to add the button so that we can trigger, right? So for adding the button, again I will select the button. Even you can directly drag button here, or you can go to the code, and where we want to drag the button, we want to drag the button after this input layout, right? So here in after the input layout, go and drag the button here. Sorry, go to the here and drag the button here. Now if you will go to the design, you will be able to see the button. Now change the text of this button. So here you can see select the button, and in all somewhere we have the text label as button. So you can change the button to addition, and I will select this one now. So we want whenever user will click on this button, value of this num1 and num2 text box should be added and placed in this result. So for that, we have to first bind this input text with variable, so that whatever value will be inside this text box, that value we can fetch inside. We can fetch on the event. So for that, we need to create 3 variables. So here go to the type and variables. So I have to create the variables. I will go to the variables. So this variable is only for main start page. This variable cannot be used outside this main start page, remember. And if you want to create variable in such a way that if we have multiple pages, all the pages can access that variable. So instead of this variable creating for main start, we can go here, select the main, this is the flow, and you can create then variable here. So that's two different things. You can see this variable we will have in the main for. So let me remove that one. I just want to create the variable for this page only. So here I have to create the variable. So there is two ways to create variable. The first and simple way to go to the variable tab and click on this variable to create the variable. So let me create variable as var underscore num1, and the variable type I want to select as number. Sorry, var underscore num1, select it as number and click on create. So you can see the var num1 variable created and data type is hash. It means number. Now I have to create another variable. I will select the ID and will give the name as var underscore num2. Now again I will select the type as number and create. So you can see these two variables created here, and right now we don't have any value and we have not used this variable anywhere. So right now we are in the variable tab. I have to create one more variable, that for result. So I will show you the different way to create the variable. So go to the page designer, and here you can see these two text box we will align with the variable. So num1 will be aligned with the variable num1. So I will go select the text box, go to the data, and here we have to select the variable. So when you will click here, in drop down you can see the variable, these two variable created. So I will select this var num1. For the same num2, I will select the variable as num2. You can select from here, or directly you can click on this fs to open the expression builder, and here you can remove this null and you can drag this num2. So this is the two way you can assign the variable or data variable to the components. Now we have to assign the variable to this result variable, right? So we have not created variable for result input box, right? So what I will do, I will go to the value, and here you can see we don't have, once we will click, we don't have option to create the variable here. I will close, and here you can see once you will click on this icon, you can have two variable, and if you want to create the variable, we can create variable here, create variable. So here you can see we have two options to create variable. The first option, create variable inside the page, and second option, create variable inside the flow, and even third have the application. One application can have multiple flow, and one multi flow can have multiple web pages. So I want to create variable for page only. So I will just click here and click on this create variable. Here it will ask the same name. So I will give the name var underscore result and select the data type as number and click on create. So now we created three variable, all variable map with the input box. Now we have to, so whatever data will be assigned to this input text box, the same data will be available in the variable. Now we have to use that variable, right? So when we want to show the result, we want to show the result whenever user will click on this button. For that, it means that we have button click event, right? So in VBCS, we have the event called, here you can see the event, and here you can see new event, we have OJ action. So you have to select the button, go to the properties, inside the event tab we have option to create the event. Once you will click here, you can see on OJ event, click new event will be created, and the event will having the action chain. This is the action chain name. By default it's taking, you can change the action chain ID or the name, or you can let it be the same. So now whenever user will click on that addition button, what kind of operation we want to perform? We want to perform the calculation operation, and suppose we have two variable num1 and num2, and we want to assign the addition of these two number in the third variable, that is var result. So we have to use the assign operation, right? So here we have the assign action. So I will drag this assign action here, and here this assign action is asking to the variable, in which variable we have to assign the value. So here we have to select the variable, so we have to select the variable as var result. So now once we selected the variable, it is asking for the value, what kind of value we want to assign to this variable. We want to assign the addition of these two numbers. So here you can see I will go for the expression builder, and here we have two number, right? You can see all this variable. So I want to assign addition of these two number. So I will drag first name var num1 plus var num2. So once you will drag, right now you can see, click on save. So if you remember, we created this input text, and input text data type is string, right? So whatever data we will pass, the data will store in the variable, and that consider will be a string. So here you can see, if you go to action chain here, whatever operation we will perform, it will not add, it will merge these two value. We have to add the addition. So let me show you that one also, right? So here we added the two number, and we want to display this two number in the result variable. So as this var result is mapped with this third input text box, it will automatically populate value here. And now after once this populated, we want to show one notification, one message, right? Pop-up message. So here we have the fire notification action. So let me drag this fire notification action, and we have to select this notification type as info or confirmation. So I want to go for info. And now here we have to select the message, what kind of message we want to show. So I will go for expression builder. Sorry, select here fire notification message, go for expression builder, and here we have to write the message, what kind of message we want to show. So we want to show message like addition of the first variable. So I will drag this num1, and then we you can see that plus operation is going to use for concrete to a string, right? So this will be a hard coded string. Addition of this var num will be replaced with the value, plus I want to add, and again I will add second variable. So it will be something like addition of num1 and num2, and again I want to add the value is and the result. So here I will drag the var result. So now here we have done with the expression. So now click on save. So now we done with the message. So our flow is completed. So if you will go to the page design, user will input value in this two text box. Whenever user will click on this addition, it will open the action chain. In the action chain, we assign the value of addition of the two number into the var result variable. And as we know that we have already mapped this var result with this result input text, the addition of the two number will automatically reflect here. After that, we added the notification to display pop-up message. And then after that done, we have done with the changes. So now we have to test the thing. So for testing the thing, what we need to do, we need to go for run. So here it's loading, right? It will take a little bit of time to load the web pages. So here you can see the web pages is loaded, and here we have these two input text box and the result is grayed out. It means it's in read only. So now assign this value 10 and 90. Once you will click on addition button, it will show the result. Addition of 10 and 90 is 1090. What it have done, it have added these two number. It has just concatenated this two number instead of adding. Why? Because the input text default type is a string, but we have to convert this string value into number. So how we can convert? So let me go to the page, and here in the action chain, you can see this is the assignment. So if you will go to the assignment here, so instead of directly adding this two number, we need to convert this number into this value into number. So for that, we have the number function, number. So the number function will convert this string type value into number, right? Now click on save. So here you can see what we have done. So let me check again. What's the error? Maybe we used different. Let me check. Go to the expression builder again. So here instead of a small n, we need to use capital N, right? Number function start with the capital N in JavaScript. So now here we have used number function to convert the var or string type value into number, then perform the addition. And after the addition, this value will be assigned to the var result variable. Now everything is fine. We need to go to the page designer again and run the web page. So click here. Again, it will reload. The main motive was not adding number at the time to show the result so that it can concatenate and you can understand the logic. So here we have two number 100 plus 80. Once we will click on addition, this two number will be added, that will be 180, and it will reflect in the result variable. Now here you can see we have the information type pop-up. If we want to change this information type, so click here, go to the action chain, and here instead of notification, go for the notification info type as confirmation. Again, go to the page designer, run the page. You can see the pop-up message will be changed to information to confirmation. So here let me run. So here let me provide the value 10 and 70. It will show the result as 80, and you can say this is the confirmation. So this is the way we can create simple web pages to perform the addition operation. In next application, next video, we will create one web pages where we will add various applications like addition, multiplication, subtraction, division, and all these things. So thank you so much for watching. If you have any other queries and you want to ask anything, don't forget to make a comment. If you want to connect with us, you can connect with us on LinkedIn with the name Aaron Zafar. Thank you again for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe the channel.